Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can I just wave at you for a minute? I know we already did that. I just want to bask in all of your beautiful faces, CSL Davis, and also basking in this holy light of love. This is totally off script. This has nothing to do with the notes that I wrote down, because why should it, right? When Deborah says that I'm a surrendered vessel, here I am. So tap your heart for just a moment and imagine just this beautiful pink light in your heart space. And then hold your hands out and visualize something in the world or the earth itself as a beautiful small ball, and shine this pink light of the holy light of love on the earth, on Ukraine and Russia, on those countries that are seeing outbreaks of COVID, on our own country as we are divided yet again. There is a wholeness here, and let's bring that wholeness today. You can put your hands down as you come back. And today we are going to talk about happiness. This month's topic is emotions. And so we're going from fear of last week to happiness this week. And I don't know about you, but sometimes the universe likes to play with me and likes to play with us in gentle, loving ways, right? So a week ago on Saturday, our 12-and-a-half-year-old dog, Lana, passed away. And she had been very ill. You know, it had happened kind of suddenly, but over the course of a number of days and weeks. And she passed peacefully. And that evening, I thought, well, here's one thing I can do. I really should open these talk notes and look at what I'm supposed to talk about in a week. So here I am in the midst of my grief, and I open talk notes, and the subject is if you're happy and you know it. Thank you, universe. Yes, I get the irony. I get that I can hold these multiple truths simultaneously, that I am allowed to be in grief and sadness, and I am allowed to be in happiness and joy, and that there are ways to bring those together, that it's not a conflict, that it is the truth of who and what we are. And in fact, Thich Nhat Hanh says, if we are not in contact with pain, we cannot know what real happiness is. And I know all of you have been through probably something similar, whether it's with a beloved pet or someone you love in your life, that there have been these hard moments. And yet we are called to happiness. It is literally a call to action. Ernest Holmes himself said over and over again to be cheerful. So he didn't necessarily say you have to be happy, but he did say to be cheerful. So even in light of all of these things that happen in our lives, be cheerful. But why? Why be happy? Why is this even important? Maybe we know this intuitively, instinctively. It just feels good, right? So to feel better and enjoy our lives, to be more aligned with the truth of who and what we are. And in fact, as we'll get into later, it's proven that practicing happiness helps us live longer and healthier lives, much longer, years longer. And I submit to you that our happiness, as we build it inwardly and share it with each other and outwardly into the world, like we just did with that shining pink light, our happiness changes the world. Our happiness changes the people we talk to, whether it's in our families or in our workplaces or in line at the grocery store. Our happiness changes the world in small ways and big ways. So I love today's topic, right? If you're happy and you know it. So my analytical mind, if you're happy and you know it, I can break this down 2 parts. I can add that high. If you're happy and you know it. Let's start with if you're happy. If you're happy. Well, so what about that? And what I got to is happiness is our essential nature. So we are always happy in a way. We may not feel it. We may not be attuned to it in any given moment. But if we go back to the who and what we are, if we go back to the basic qualities of the infinite that Thomas Troward and various others have given us, Troward, who was one of Ernest Holmes' great teachers, Troward and Emerson and some of the New Thought teachers, he had this very logical mind. He was a judge who had studied he was a judge from England who was in India for years and years. And so he was deeply affected by their metaphysical teachings. And at the same time, he needed his logical British brain, his judge brain, to be able to lay everything out and say, well, God must be all of these qualities because here's how we can do this logically. And I don't know about you, but don't we all do that? We want this kind of logical, analytical proof to tell us, oh, it's absolutely true. So if you really want to know why it's true, go read Troward. I'm not going to read him to you right now. His qualities, his 7 essential qualities of the divine start with life, that there is life. Then love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. So joy is the culminating quality of this whole creation that he sees of the divine wanting to know and express itself and experience itself through us. Joy is an essential quality of who and what we are. Now, what does that mean that it's an essential quality of who and what we are? I kind of think I'm this body, I'm this mind, I'm these wonderful emotions that are sometimes up and sometimes down and sometimes all over the place. I am all of that. And yet the real truth of who and what we are is none of that. You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not even these beautiful emotions. These are all a vehicle for your expression and your experience. Who and what you are, who and what I am, is all of those qualities. You are wholeness, you are peace, you are harmony, you are love, you are joy. If you can just take a moment to imagine even this physical structure, this body, some of you might have a place that's not feeling as good in your body right now as you'd like it to. Maybe there's been an injury or some other thing going on. And yet the truth, if you can imagine it, the truth of the structure of your being, the structure of your body, and you can see I'm closing my eyes because I'm trying to imagine it, is actually joy, is actually harmony, is actually love. And so even my cells, even your cells are made out of love. Your whole being is made out of joy. And that's something we spend our spiritual lifetimes coming closer and closer to understanding and practicing. One of the things that struck me this morning about CSL Davis, and it's true about CSL generally, is that you all are practitioners, every single one of you. I heard it in the prayer this morning. I heard it in Diane's presentation. I saw it in the fact that you're doing visioning and gratitude practices. You are practitioners of the truth that you know is your truth. Whether you've got that title or not really doesn't matter. It's an education. And yet what you do every day with your life, that is being a practitioner, what you are giving into the world. So right now, I want you to know that you are the creation of an infinite creator. The structure of your being, the truth of who you are, is God's stuff. Like joy, you are actually the divine substance of joy. If only we could wake up every morning and go to bed every night, just remembering those qualities, remembering that we are joy. And of course, one of the practices that some of you probably use or have used is the gratitude practice. That's one way to do it, to write down 3 things you're grateful for before you go to bed or in the morning. And hey, have you tried this? This is a powerful practice. If there is something bothering you or someone, you probably never have people bother you, but if you ever do have a person bothering you in your life, write down 3 things you are grateful for about them. Okay, sometimes this can be difficult. Do it anyway. It might be that you are grateful that they have incredible hair, or a lovely sense of style or they like flowers. I mean, it might not be something deep. It almost doesn't matter. It just starts shifting the energy. It starts shifting you. And when you start shifting, the universe responds. We know that the universe corresponds with what we put out. And so it is important to put that out there. Going back to today's topic, it breaks down into two pieces, right? If you're happy and you know it, we have already determined that we are essentially happy. So that part's a done deal. We're good to go. The knowing it part is what is the practice. That is what takes more doing, more work. And I have a little story for you around that should help. And of course, I'm all in dog mode right now because of our beloved Lana. A big dog saw a puppy chasing its tail and asked, "Why are you chasing your tail that way?" Well, this is a very smart puppy. We're very smart sometimes, aren't we? This is a very smart puppy. I have studied philosophy and solved the problem of the universe, which no other dog before me has ever solved. And I have found out that the best thing for a dog in life is happiness. And that happiness is in my tail. That is why I am chasing it. And when I catch it, I will reach happiness. "Son," the dog said, "in my young days, I was also interested in the questions of the universe. I also thought that happiness is the tail. And in the beginning, I was also chasing it. But later, I noticed that wherever I go and whatever I do, the tail was following behind me. And then I understood that I don't need to chase it." Who among you are familiar with the work of Abraham Hicks? Quite a few people. One of the things Abraham Hicks says that I love in relation to this story is a happy life is just a string of happy moments. But most people don't allow the happy moment because they're so busy trying to get a happy life. So how do we get those happy moments, right? How do we go back to that present moment? And of course, we can go to our guru of being in the present moment, Eckhart Tolle, for yet another quote. "As soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve, and life begins to flow with joy and ease." We can take that one step further because we know that honoring the present moment does mean being in what is right here and right now, what is living in us. And what is living in us in any given moment might not feel like happiness. It might feel like sadness or anger or boredom or many other things. And yet, when we go into this present moment, when we really pay attention to what is, when we allow the sadness or the joy or whatever is happening without attaching our stories to it. I am angry because he did that to me. I am annoyed because whatever. When we let go of the story and literally just allow what is, the rest falls away. And we get to experience whatever the message is from that sadness or from that joy or from that love or whatever that place is that is in our heart. And that expands. And those unpleasant emotions, those ones that, I don't know about you, but I'd like to shove them in a corner sometimes and just kind of bop along. Those actually yield their gift. They give a message often of what it is that's really going on for us, which may be so much deeper than what we thought the cause was. We have this tendency to look for cause and effect out there, to think that my happiness is out there, you did this to me, my anger is out there, or by the same token, to blame ourselves inwardly. So sometimes we look out there, sometimes we look within, but not in a way that's just allowing, more in a way of, I can't believe I did that thing. I'm so dumb. I really wish I had done it differently, if only. And so we can beat ourselves up inwardly, we can beat up our outside world, or we can go to this present moment and we can allow. And in that place of allowing, we can move into the most wonderful spiritual practice for happiness that there is. And I bet you all can guess what it is. You all know what it is if you just think about it, because it's the one we go to all the time. It's gratitude. And when we are in gratitude, it is a very good place to bring us to those, the string of pearls, our moments of happiness that connect one by one along this chain of our being until it all just becomes more and more illuminated and they become closer and closer together. So I submit to you right now, actually bring up something in your life that you would like to be better. It doesn't have to be something bad. It could be something that just that you're working on, like you're writing a poem and you'd like it to go more smoothly, or it, just something you'd like to be a little better is also okay. Bring that up. And in that place where that thing is, just set it aside for a moment and go to something that you're grateful for, something you can have gratitude about, whether it's related to that or whether it's different. And as this gratitude is in you, now go back to that thing, to what seemed off, what seems out of kilter. And notice, are you able to hold the gratitude and hold the thing that seems out of kilter at the same time? Can they really coexist in your thought, in your mind, in your emotions? I'm going to guess that the answer is no. When we are turned to gratitude, when we are turned like a sunflower to the sunlight of who and what we really are, of the truth of being, when we allow ourselves to be and allow those moments to grow, it is very hard to stay stuck in what isn't working. And so this is what these days they call a life hack, right? A way of hacking our own minds and emotions and to change our thinking and change our lives. The Abraham Hicks group, they talk about our emotions as a guidance system and moving up the emotional guidance system like a ladder from depression and grief at the bottom to joy. And here, I have to read these to you. These most amazing emotions at the very top. They are joy and freedom and empowerment and appreciation and, of course, love. And so they tell us that it's very hard most of the time for most people to move straight from something that doesn't feel very good, like anger or grief or even irritation, straight to bliss. And we need to be patient with ourselves on that. But what we can do is pick not a better feeling, but a better feeling thought. We are looking for something that gives us a thought, and then our feelings respond. So if I'm feeling grief about my beautiful dog, one better feeling thought is to remember how incredibly joyful she was chasing sticks last summer when we threw them into the lake. So I can go to these places that give me a better feeling thought, and that starts lifting me up this emotional guidance system to where I really want to be. Allow yourself to do it step by step. Allow these micro steps. I had the most wonderful experience 2 weeks ago. I went to the retreat with Karen Drucker and Gary Lynn Floyd up at the Ananda Center. We toured the tulip gardens up there. I don't know if anyone has been there. I didn't even know they existed. So beautiful. We were immersed in Karen and Gary's music. It was absolutely lovely. And Karen has had quite a background. Many people have that I just don't know about. And one of the things Karen did in her past is she was a long distance swimmer. She swam the English Channel. And the deal with the English Channel is, other than just being, I can't even imagine doing that. So my hat off to her, that you are co-occupying the same channel that is traversed by tanker ships. And these tanker ships are huge and they're full and they are kind of the opposite of nimble. These are not ships that can turn on a dime. In fact, she said that these tanker ships require an hour's warning, an hour's notice to turn even 1 degree. She brought this to us as a reminder that even these micro changes, writing 3 gratitudes every night or 3 gratitudes about someone who's really troubling you, allowing love to go from your heart into the world, or whatever the things are that you are working on, we can commit to 5 seconds to 5 minutes a day, some very small increment, to move in the direction of what we really want. And those small increments over time will turn us 1 degree and then another. And before you know it, you are turned much more in the direction of who and what you are. We are in this place where we are happiness, and we are turning sometimes this tanker ship of all this stuff that we carry with us, all of life and all of family and all of world politics and all the everything, all of this tanker ship stuff. And yet our inwardness, where we can really make changes, is ready for us to nurture those changes incrementally, step by step, towards remembering, because we know healing is revealing, remembering who and what we really are, that we are joy, we are peace, we are well-being. And by being that, by knowing that, we spread it into the world. Brene Brown says, in addition to creating happiness in our lives, cultivate the spiritual practices that lead to joyfulness, especially gratitude. We need to live from a place of gratitude and joy. If you need any more convincing, or if you need yet another technique, I'll give you one last one. And that is to make yourself smile. Have you heard of this? That just by smiling, you actually feel better? Try it right now. See how you feel. Everybody smile. There's a lot of websites out there now that are telling you the benefits of smiling. And in fact, the website Very Well Mind has a 1-week smiling challenge. It says a simple smile can trigger the release of neuropeptides that improve your neural communication, as well as neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which can boost your mood. Think of smiling like a natural antidepressant. The physical act of smiling actually activates pathways in your brain that influence your emotional state, meaning that by adopting a happy facial expression, you can trick your mind into entering a state of happiness. This holds true whether or not your smile is real. Genuine, intense smiling is associated with longer life, and we're not talking a little bit. Happiness could increase your lifespan by years. Smiling boosts the immune system because of those neurotransmitters. It lowers blood pressure. Laughter lowers blood pressure, and smiling, they are pretty sure, will also do that. Smiling reduces pain and makes you feel good. Smiling releases endorphins, other natural painkillers, and serotonin. Together, these brain chemicals make us feel good from head to toe. Not only do they elevate your mood, but they also relax your body and reduce your physical pain. Smiling is a natural drug. The website says, try this test. Smile. So go ahead, smile. Now try to think of something negative without losing the smile. It's hard. So it is time to smile. It is time to practice happiness and to build those moments into your life, into your daily life, so that you can string them together like pearls and create that life you love. Holmes says we should rediscover the youthful spirit of that childlike joy, which gave to us the energy, happiness, security, and faith we had as children. And so join with me right now, gently if you're feeling uncomfortable. And if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your face is sure to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Blessings to all of you. I love you. And now for prayer. In this very room, there is quite enough love for all of us. There is one power, one presence, one infinite life, one infinite grace. This grace is all that is. It is the pure movement and wholeness of being. It is all that I am. It is all that is present in each and every person here at CSL Davis, each and every person watching this talk later, each and every person who is participating in this knowing of good throughout the world. We live in a world that works for everyone. And in this world that works for everyone that I now know and declare is right here and right now, we see and know blessings and safety and wholeness for the people of Ukraine, the people of Russia and Belarus and all the surrounding countries. We see and know blessing for the people of North Korea who are experiencing a COVID outbreak, and for other hotspots in the world. We see and know blessing for our own country as we try to figure out who and what we really are and how to be one. This blessing is now filling each and every one of us with unity, with a growth in our healthy heart space, our understanding of what is ours to do, small or large, prayer or action, goodness in every way. And today we are happy and we know it, and we bring that happiness into the world with faith and trust and truth and joy, and it is so. I give thanks for answered prayer. I give thanks and release this into the infinite law of being that says yes and makes it so right here and right now. And it is done. And so it is.